Right. So welcome again to today, and let's see. The last thing we did last time was setting and getting attributes. So today we'll continue with class list. As we saw yesterday, sure you can set the class attribute with set attributes, but it's not very great to do that because if you do that, you are basically replacing all the classes that were there before. It's a bunch of comma separated values, and there are usually plenty of them, and it's not great, it's not helpful a lot of times to remove the entire thing and replace it. We usually just want to add or remove one of those values in there as we wish. So there are all elements have this value, have this property called class list, and the class list has a few methods that you can use to mess around with it. There's add, to add in a bunch of classes, as many as you want. You just keep adding like parameters in a function, just comma the next one, comma the next one, and like that. So you can add.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
So you can add either one class name like title, or you add multiple title, header title, something else like that. Or you can remove. Again, you either remove just one or you remove multiple. Just keep adding comma and the other ones. You can also toggle. So toggle means if it was there before, it would remove it. If you, those are the three, what do you call it? Three methods on the class list property for elements. So let's try them out. So, yeah, ignore this. I was trying to. So let's use which one? I think H1 has a bunch of things. Should we do that? Okay, let's give this third title a bunch of random classes. Let's see. And let's see. That's green. Yeah, I know these aren't really going to work because there's no tailwind here. But I just want to have some things like this. In lights, just things like this. So if you remember, we did get third title at some point. Yeah, title. And that's it, third title. So we're just going to be using third title for this. So third that's okay. There are actually quite a few. It's just that contains. So let's see the ones we're going to check out. So this adds all arguments passed except those already present. And there's contains. This returns false otherwise. So I think it takes just one thing. The dot tokens. Contains only takes one. Then entries, I don't see the use for this. I don't think I need to explain the for each to you guys, and I've never had a reason to use it anyway. Item. Okay, so this works like or those get elements by node lists and what are those other things? HTML. But it's weird. I don't think you would see a need to use keys. Also, another weird thing. Length. I've never had a reason. Yeah. So add contains remove. Remove just removes arguments if they are present. It does throw a syntax into string. So you can put it replace. Yeah, that's another one I forgot. Replace. Add contains remove replace. Obviously you can see there just a string. Some of them are I guess it doesn't but hard for you to find the reason to use them. Write out these ones. Add this toggle. Am I missing anyone? I think these are them. New ask to the list. This checks if whatever you want to check does exist. This removes, this replace, remove it and put the new one. If it wasn't there before, I think it will just put the new one. And this, if it wasn't there, it's added. That's just how it goes. So title the class list. So what do we want to add? Can someone give me any random class name to add? Somebody, class name. Get class name from you.
Jomasi. Go ahead.
Where's Jen?
I wanted to say sausage. I said Jomasi. Anyone?
Okay, you wrote it in the oh. Okay, so because we're all
Sausage.
and stuff like that's the first thing that came to your mind. So okay, I think we will see a good chance to use one of these. Let's say it's a string. So console.log third list. So what I want to do is that at every stage of this code, we're going to be logging what the class list looks like every time. So this is before we start. This is before add. So third list, the class list, the strings, because the string is going to turn them all to just one. So it'll be easy to see everything. The string. I see. And what is and here what do we do here? Class list that contains. So, okay, this is going to return true. Put this in the console log. Let me just say green. I know there is actually no class like green. It's actually text green. But let's say green later after that. So contains green. So this will be contains text green. Text green. Okay. No need for adding this log because this is just returning true or false. It's not actually manipulating the class list. Next is remove. I feel like I need to be adding some spaces in some places. So let's do that. So for remove, we can take it that this is, there's no need for before remove because there's nothing, okay, this should be after add. After add.
That after add, is it like a function or something?
No. I'm just logging an object. So this is just a property name in the object.
Okay.
I like to log objects when I want to see something so that this property name would be like a title for this value that I'm seeing, so that we don't just see this value and we don't know what this value means. You now have to see, you see that the log was made from line 96, so you come back to your code to look at 96 to understand what's going on. I don't want that because we're going to see a lot of logs when we go over there. So these are just like little titles to help us understand what the meaning of the value we're seeing is.
Why are
You
you
should be used to
converting
that
that thing?
by now.
That I
Why
know
am I
that.
doing
Then
that?
why are you converting that one to dot
You should be used.
dot string? Sorry, I came late. I did not really get it.
All right. So third title dot class list dot remove. What should we remove?
Anything.
Let's remove Jomasi. Okay, here we did just one add. Let me do something more. So here we just added one item, one class. So let's see what it looks like after adding many. Is it really going to work? Something like that. So remove. So you can see remove also can also take many, but we'll just do one. No time to waste. So we'll remove Jomasi. Okay, next is replace. So what do we do? Okay, so there's a BG black. We'll replace this BG black with BG white. Or theme. Theme seems more appropriate. We'll replace this theme light with theme dark. So class list that replace, you can see replaces token with new token. Yeah, nothing multiple, just one of each. If returns true if token was replaced, false otherwise. Again, it throws an exception, an error, if one of the arguments is an empty string. So you don't. Okay. Also throws this if any of the arguments contains any white space. Classes, single classes shouldn't have white space. So we always have some kind of joiner. You know, text green like this. Now there's a dash. There could also be an underscore. But once you put a space, you're basically saying that these are two classes. So in all these things, they don't allow you to put spaces in them because you're not adding one class or removing one class. You're now working with multiple classes. Okay, so replace. So that means you can't use the replace method to try to remove classes. Because if you remember replace on strings, the replace method on strings, we sometimes use it to remove a block of text by saying maybe replace this with empty string. That's basically removing that part of the string. But you can't do that here. If you want to remove, you use your full chest and use the remove and use place to try and sneak things. Like the thing that place, and I think there's just one more because we're already using third title dot last list dot. So what should I toggle? We're already replacing theme lights. Let's toggle this one.
Data color. Can you tell me data color?
Data color. No, class list. Data color is a separate. You toggling you have to do by yourself. Data color equals this. If it isn't, you want it. But for class list has because it's kind of special. It takes in, do we say multiple values? Just take one value. So you're either removing the, there's not really much you can do on them. But class is special because multiple. Okay, after replace, so this will be after toggle. All right, so we toggled BG black. We're going to toggle it again and see after toggle twice. Okay, I think we're set. Okay, so this is what we have. We start from here. So before adding, we had title, BG black, text green, theme lights, just those. And after adding, we see that there's geometry. After adding many, remember we had, I don't know if I should make this bigger. Should be. Yeah. So after we see stage and out. So contains green, where we try to check if a class list contains green, turned out to be true. So you can't look for pieces inside. You need to look for like a whole single class. True. So after removing, I remove my something. We replace theme light with theme. And all subsequent ones, it remains theme dark. So toggle once, we toggled BG dark, BG black. It was already there before. It was here, BG black. We toggled it once, it went away. We toggled twice, it came back. So you can see you keep toggling it, just keep going and coming. Are we clear on all disabled ones? The others, I don't see a use case for them.
Sorry, I think I am a bit confused about that one that we did to string. Go back to the.
That's what you're saying.
Well,
yeah, it
okay.
just turns it to string. Because if you pick any of these, let's see, where are any of these now?
Yes.
Let's say, yeah, this is an input. Does it have a class list? And class list. You see, it's a DOM token list. It's kind of like an array. You can see property. So it's kind of like an array.
Okay. Okay.
So for us to see the class list, in a nice way, like the way you see it in VS Code, toString would just help you with that.
Okay.
You see it in VS Code now, right? In a string with separated by spaces, every single item separated by spaces. Looking at it. I don't know what will make you want to use this one day, but at least for teaching purposes, I'm sure you'd agree with that. About it, toString.
Okay.
There we go.
And my network is slow, but I understand what you said.
Methods. Anyone confusing? Nothing. We've messed around with attributes. We've messed around with classes. So let's look at another element, which is inner HTML and text content. So any element that has opening and closing tags, we can set its inner HTML. The inner HTML just means it shows up other elements opening and closing tags. So for example, something like a div or p tag or body HTML. The inner HTML is basically a string. setting it, like saying, means that whatever was there before, you have thrown it away and you are putting this new thing. You want to throw uh, and the thing you do. You guys are you know how to work with strings. So assuming I have a string, yes. Assuming this is this, and I have this const yeah. So we've got these two. If we say this inner HTML is equal to HTML addition,
Please, I
what do
don't
you think?
understand you. That span that you wrote, is not supposed to have a span tag as the closing tag, or maybe I'm the one missing it.
Nah, that was not my mistake. Yeah, let's make this all let. Or the first one can be let, the second one can be anyhow. So, assuming this, I say, we already have this inner HTML is equal to this nice p tag, and HTML addition. What would I see if I console this inner HTML? Yes, people?
I think that it cannot change to log inner HTML, right?
Yeah. I'm saying, what do you think we're going to see when I log it?
Wait.
Any, do you all agree? Or does someone think something different? Oh, right, we have to go to the browser. So, it's regular variable stuff. This is let, so it can be overwritten. If you say this is now equal to this, you're basically saying the value of this be equal to exactly what was inside HTML addition. So you're going to see this. So what should we do? How do we adjust this? That will make it such that if you check the log inner HTML, we should see this p tag and this span.
You add it to
What
concatenate
changes do we make on this line?
plus equals
Okay, so plus equals to. And yes, I mean, so keep that in mind. Just the way you know strings to work is how inner HTMLs um, for elements work. So let's take a look at, yes, this form, for example, has a few things inside. So let's go check out what its inner HTML looks like. So the form, did we get it somewhere? I feel like we did get it somewhere. Yes, form. And form was query selector form, which gives us just one element. So yeah, form. What's this? Inner HTML. So form.inner.html. So we get this. This is just space, or rather like new line. So there's input, um, there are actually two inputs, but the line is just very long. If I shrunk this, yeah, you see there's a lot, but this console doesn't allow us, it doesn't break the text into multiple lines. It just shows the content up to where it can and ends there. So, so yeah, that's that. So now we have this last H1 that never showed anything. Okay, so inside. Here we had first title, second title, third title. So I think the first thing we should try putting is fourth title. So if we go back up, by class name we got all the titles. So we can just say title, you know, square brackets, index will give us that. Yeah. That's empty H1. Yeah, I didn't hear you before.
Can I see it again?
Yes, I didn't hear you before. This is them. There are just four of them.
Okay.
So we want to get, so yeah, what number?
3.
3. Okay, so fourth title, and so on. Help me out with what to write. Fourth title, the what? Goodness, I don't think we've heard from you today.
I'm trying to find my way into what's happening.
You're still trying to find your way in.
Into everything that's happening. Like I've missed 4 classes, so I'm trying to catch up. So
I thought yesterday you were doing the catch up. The catch up, no, you didn't do a lot. But even then,
yeah.
I mean, it's not pretty straightforward to date. You have an element, it has a bunch of properties like you can see. So if I want the inner HTML, what would I write? The property is inner HTML. Yeah, so doing this would show me what is currently um, the value of the inner HTML of this element. You saw when we did this here, perform inner HTML. You saw the 2 inputs inside. Yeah. So like that, it's just a string, and you can set it by writing something else. If you said empty string, it will become empty string. If you say it's going to have a maybe p tag or something, it's going to have that. Just some text, like say for title. That's it. It's going to have, actually, this is how properties of these elements are. So anyway, let's go check that out. For title. Cannot set properties of undefined. Do something to type at some point.
I have a question.
Yes.
You know that if you go back to those 4 elements that is it Bashar said he wants to see again. Those 4 elements that he said I want to see, that up one, I don't know the name. Those 4. If you notice that H1 does not have the title class there.
Ah, that's true. That's
So
true. That's
that's
true.
why I
That's
was
true.
not surprised that how do you want to
To get it. Okay,
target
that's
me?
true. It's actually H1s we should have been targeting. Is H1 because this was where we got all by tag. So
Okay,
you're right.
so it's H1 that was
H1s.
okay,
Yeah, it's
good.
supposed to be H1s. That was my mistake. H1s. So then for this anymore. Alright, so this shows up. If I refresh this, maybe for a fraction of a second. You saw that, right? For a fraction of a second, there was no first title until that thing kicked in. And then we see fourth title. So that's it.
So show me the code again. I want to see something. Let me see. Okay. Okay, that's what you wrote inside. Okay, that's what the 4 title showed.
Yeah, that's what it showed up. So now there are 3 confusing things. Now this is a little bit troublesome. These 3 things, in some cases, they do exactly the same thing. For example, okay, I'm going to use a little bit of something now. And we're supposed to treat this a little later, but for this purpose, let's just look at it now. This is set timeout. I feel like, have you had any experience with set timeout so far in the course of these 30 days of JS? Yes?
We have used it before.
Have used, okay, that's great, that's great. So I don't need to worry about that. So set timeout is just a way to delay. So this, I will make it 10. One is fourth title or inner HTML at the beginning is going to get changed to fourth title. Here we're going to use inner text. And here we're going to use text content. Text content. So let's just change this a little bit. Fourth title. And fourth title text content. Okay, just to show you that at least in this particular situation, inner text, text content, inner HTML, they will achieve the exact same thing. So we see fourth title, and after a short while, we get this. So after another 5 seconds, we should see something else. Okay. So let's go properly look at the differences between those three. Should I just use maybe let's go to ChatGPT. I think we'll get a smoother response from there jumping around. White? Why is it white? Anyway, white ain't bad, right? Okay, so text content represents the text content of an element and all its descendants. It returns the text content as a string, stripping out any HTML tags. So it's useful when you want to see the textual content of an element without including any HTML markup. So for example, we've got this div, example div. It has this ID example div, and there's a p tag side. There's this is text. So if we got that div, with get element by ID, and for the text content, you'll get this is some text. No p tag, opening, closing, no span, just the actual text content. So I think that one, the name makes it very clear. So inner text is similar to text content in that it retrieves or sets the text content of an element and its descendants. However, inner text pays attention to the CSS styling and renders only the visible text. It won't return the text if it's hidden by CSS, such as display none. So if we have the same example div and we use CSS to style it to display none, and you got the text content or you try to get the inner text, you will get this empty string because it can't see it since it's not being displayed. But if you try getting the text content, you still get this. Text content doesn't care about display none. So inner HTML gets everything. So it returns the HTML content of an element, including any HTML tags against. It's often to get or set HTML content dynamically, but it comes with risks such as cross-site scripting vulnerabilities if the content is not properly sanitized. So an example, same example, example div, getting the inner HTML, kind of like we've seen, it's going to return this p tag, blah, 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 blah. So in summary, text content and inner text focus on retrieving or setting the text content of an element and its descendants, with inner text being sensitive to CSS styling. And inner HTML retrieves or sets the HTML content of an element, including HTML tags. So let's see if we can construct a good enough situation to explain all of these even better. So we've got text container, and it's going to contain, what should it contain? Let's say a tag or two p tags. Yeah, two p tags plus another p tag. This one may be hidden. And this one is okay. The text that's hidden. Do we need to add some extra things? Let's just say the text, and then there'll be a span. Yeah, the span will be hidden. Should do. So we've got this Peter. Maybe this is a ball. Yes, text container. So, is there really a need to style this text container? So, text container, let's just make it gap 24px. Yeah. Okay, so this table and tubes, but we know that hidden in here there is actually what I'm saying, right? Let me just tamper with that for a bit. This hidden class, if I remove it, then we see, do you get what I'm saying? All right, but this part was just hidden with CSS. So let's go get the inner text, text content, and inner HTML. Okay, let's add something a bit. Mm, I feel like this 32 was too big. Maybe 22 instead. So, can someone help me get text container over there in the JS? Yeah.
Okay, you can say document the query selector.
Yeah.
Then yes, then you now put that a quotation mark. Then now
Okay.
say dot. What's the name of the class container? Is that the name of the class?
This is the class.
Test container. Yes.
All right, text container. So now we're just going to log three things. So text content is going to be text container dot text content. Inner text is going to be text container dot inner text. Sometimes these properties don't show up. I don't know what their problem is. And then inner HTML. Text container dot HTML. So that's way to do this. Text content. I don't know. I feel like this thing is very small, but do you see the, what do they call that thing? Okay, tell
Yes.
you what,
Yes.
I'll just copy them. Copy string content, copy string content. So that first one was inner HTML. Let's just do this text. The text content was the first, then inner text, and yeah. So I was right. So the third one is this. This is text content. And inner text second one. And inner HTML is the most recent. So, shit.
Not put the hidden.
I didn't put the hidden.
So all of them are the same.
Mm,
Except that inner HTML.
so I'm, okay, I'll try to replace. I know it's inner HTML doesn't care. It's going to be the same either way. But inner text, copy string content. Yeah, so text contains some random text. This is about to get what I'm saying. And inner text said, just some random text. This is about hello world, do you get? So the hidden text went away. And as for inner HTML, well, it's nicely formatted exactly the way we left it. Yeah. So all these are great and all. I mean, you would know when you need this one, you need this one. I haven't really got such a time. Mostly inner HTML just does it for me. But yeah. But while getting these all great, but you can see now if you try to set text content, yeah, I think we'll run into some issues. Okay. Let's do something. So over here, HTML. Let's try to put a tag in there. I will put a span. This work. So we're just going to add this to this other two. So HTML added that. You can see what inner text did and text content. These two didn't work out. They added them just as text. Hello?
Wait, you're saying that the inner HTML will copy the HTML tag. We still redisplay the tag. Abi?
Yeah, the inner HTML
Display the tag.
is tag and make it an element. So things will show just as they're supposed to show. Like you are not supposed to tags in your display, right?
Yes.
So because it has become a node, you won't see that tag in the display. But text content and inner text, they don't recognize anything you put there is text for them. It's not something that they should look for and make a node. It's just text. They will display it just like text.
Yes. Styling in the CSS inner text, we consider the styling.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Styling, right?
Because
Okay, like a styling for a span.
yes.
Okay, so if the span had a different styling.
It will just take note of the
Make it a little
styling.
longer.
Inner text.
10 and 15. because before I get to where this thing is and open it, it would have changed. I don't like that. So I'm making the time before it changes longer. So H1 and span. What should we do to that? So H1 with a span inside. The span should be color.
Okay.
Okay. Here, this is the H1. You see it shows as a span, like a tag. Will this work? But this guy, it's not a span, it's just text. Inner text. Same thing with text content. It's just text. So that's one thing to keep in mind, right? What do they call that thing? For if you're trying to set HTML content, you can only use inner HTML. But if you only want text content, then you know how you can do it. You mean you can use any of the three. Let's also look at something else.
Wait, when you did the H1 span to be read,
Yes.
I did not take note.
Okay,
Of
okay,
the
let's make it even longer. So now another thing to note is this p tag. There's a p tag inside this H1. So let me see. Here we're just setting, okay, let me just do a plus equals, and a plus equals. Okay, so you can see the red text, right? So it's setting inner HTML, p tag remains, port title, okay, and that. But here, the p tag went away, and this one too.
Which one is showing all this spam? Is it the HTML element?
This first one, port title, will this work? This was from when we set inner HTML.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember that there was a span there. There was a p tag as well.
Okay.
The p tag was empty though. But when we set text content, what was the next one, sir? Either way, either of those two, they do similar things. When we set inner text, we are saying the inner text of this H1 element should be, we're adding this to it. This port title, inner text, span, will this work? It removed all the tags. It removed all the tags that were in there before. So it just brought out the text and just made them all a string. You can see how this looks. Port title is like inside a string. This one wasn't showing like that. This one, third title, it's not wrapped in quotes. But fourth title, because we set text content and inner text, it's now like a block of string. It removes all tags that are there before and just keeps only text. And the next one, okay, I think it's here it stops. Yeah, it's here it stopped. And the next one, the text content just did something similar. So is this confusing?
Clear. I don't know if other people understand. But I'm trying to get it.
Okay. The main thing here is that setting inner HTML, right? Doing plus equals. Let's say text content is equal to something like that. It's just going to add this stuff right at the bottom of that element. If there's anything here that looks like a tag, properly formatted as a tag, it's going to make it a tag. Like when we did the span worked, and the CSS that we did on spans inside worked on it because this became a node. But inner text, setting inner text on an element is remove any elements that are already inside that element. So any div, anything that was in there, it will remove it, and it will only be looking at the text. Same thing with text, the text content property. Okay, they don't care about tags at all. Anything you put that looks like a tag, they will just put it as raw text.
Okay.
Let's go check it out again. All right. So this was there before. What title? A new span like that. The inner text will kick in. Right? This is all we get. This is what this other one added. It removed the p tag that was there before. Removed the span. Was on something else. All of that. They went away. Anyway, that's about that for setting texts. And a little more with inner HTML and those other two. So inner HTML property can allow us to remove all the children of the parent elements. Instead of using like an actual method for removing elements, there's something called remove child. That can be, you would have to like get the child as a variable, so you can say parent element dot remove child, and you pass in the child element and it will remove it. But in case you want to remove everything all at once, inner HTML is sweet. Inner HTML of this element is equal to empty string, and everything gets cleared away. So if you remember, there was this my repo I showed you guys one time, countries. Yeah, look at this. Country.innerHTML is equal to error message. That basically means anything that was inside country before, just remove it and only show error message. So another place that we did that. Here, card is equal to this, and country inner HTML is equal to card. So whatever that was inside country HTML before, just remove it and put card. Something like that. So there are lots of instances of using inner HTML. Okay. So now it's style, and that's where today ends. Okay. Let's use that one and catch small break.
What about
I think today we'll not even be able to get to it.
An adjacent?
We'll just, yeah.
Did you get?
No, I didn't hear you.
I said, what about is it before end and adjacent HTML? Those DOM properties. I don't know if you've heard of it. Adjacent, before end. While I was doing free code campaign.
Yes. Okay. I think we'll be chance to look at them tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Just please keep it in mind and try to remind me tomorrow.
All right.
Because these styles will take some time. Yeah, so check charts. The link, the attendance is there. So stay and let's continue. Mm, Sabu- Hello, can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you. I was feeling my own.
Okay.
I'm done. But I don't know for the others.
Can I have one more person say they're done?
I'm not done. I'm still filling. My computer is.
I'm done.
Okay. So let's chill a bit for goodness. When you're done, let us know goodness.
No, no, it's okay. You can continue. I'm using my work PC and I'm finding it difficult to navigate to the link. So I'll fill it. It will take a
All
while.
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, styles. As you know, you can make adjustments to the styling of different properties with JavaScript. But here's a little thing about how that works. This thing looks very weird, so I'm going to remove those sets, comment out those set timeouts. As we know, there are three ways you can put CSS, right? There is, external style sheets, like what we're doing, where you just write in a separate place and link it to your HTML. And there's internal CSS, where you write it in the head. You say you have style tags and you put whatever you want in there. And there's inline styling. So, if you didn't know, inline styling takes the most priority. If you said this one should be red from your external style sheet, and you go to your inline styling and say this guy be blue, it will be blue. It will not be red, right? So because inline styling priority, what JavaScript does when you mess around with styling is that JavaScript sets the inline styling. That's why whatever you set to JavaScript, it always shows up immediately. It doesn't waste time. There's no argument about priority. It just works because it does inline styling. The inline styling of these elements, they're kind of like an object. I think, where is that place? We have one of these elements. You can go look at it. Let's see. I know this one is just a name. Yeah, let's say this guy, for example. Here you see style, right? Now, if you open here, you're going to see a lot of style properties. But notice how they're all empty strings. Um, First color should be color is empty string. But we know, I think this was third title. Where is the class list? Is ID that will help us see it better. ID, third title. Alright, this is third title. We can see the color here is red. It was actually styled with CSS and the color is red. But coming down to this style.color, we see that it's an empty string. The reason is that, where is that color? Okay, here. The reason is that this style that you are seeing in the element is only talking about the inline styling for that element. It doesn't care about whatever you've done with some other style sheet. It doesn't know about that, right? So around with CSS properties of an element in JavaScript, all you are changing, all you are playing around with is the contents of this style. And for that element, you can't come up with .style.this and you see the value that you put in your CSS. No. If you want to see that, then you have to do, you have to use a particular method. It's called get computed styles. So elements, you see there's styles and there's computed. These computed styles, any styling that you've, and all the CSS joined together, this style sheet, that style sheet, here, all of them joined together, they eventually get computed to somewhere with what should show up here. So using get computed styles, applying it to an element is now going to show these values here. So here we can actually see color. Okay, this is second title. Let me try and click on third title. Yeah. So now the computed styles for this element is now showing red. So if you did get computed styles with JavaScript, that's when you now see that, yeah, this is red, size is this. But just trying to go through the regular, the element.style.this, you will get nothing. So I just want to just keep that in mind. So once again, setting stylings of elements with JS is it's kind of like how we set attributes. You just get to the attributes or try to access the attributes and say equal to, and you put a value. As long as that's a valid value, like you can come and say font size and you write 24 in letters, in alphabets, that's a pointless value. You won't see any difference. But you put in a valid value, you are going to see it take effect. The color is equal to this. Let's say the top is equal to 1%. You will see it happen, right? So color, font size, there's a whole list of things. So the things you can't do are basically just the things you can't do with inline here. I think this can't come and be doing hover classes. It's like hover happen, you can't do that. What you would do is to have a particular class you style in your CSS that this class, if it's on this element, hover should be like this, active should be like that. And then you now go and start playing with that class in JavaScript. Say, if this happens, put this class on this element. And once the class gets on the element, the CSS styling will kick in. And you get this stuff. Okay, so that's how to go around things. So let's use the little time we have left to try that out. So manipulating styles, we did use third title. So let's carry on with that. We saw that it's red. Where are we? Third title is red. So let's make it some other color. Let's make it green. Third title dot style dot, you get a whole list of the things you can change. Okay, maybe let's say margin top. I think that should be very clear. Margin top is equal to so all these things are all expecting strings pretty much. So I think if I just wrote 70, I wonder if that would take effect, even though it's not a string. They didn't show up. So I think you need to make it a string. And not just a string, you now have to add units, px or whatever. And you get that margin top over here. I don't know, do we need to do some more examples of adjusting or setting stylings with JavaScript? Is there any particular one you'd like to see? Because like I said, it's just all about knowing how it's written, you know, like margin top, anything that used to have a dash in your CSS. Anything here, box sizing will now become, you know, box sizing. Camel case. Oh, sorry. So really that.
So you are saying now that if you are doing styling using JavaScript, whatever
Yeah.
you write as the style in JavaScript overrides any external or internal style that you have written concerning that tag or class. Abi?
Yeah, it does. But let's see why. I think I wanted to do this before I forgot. So that was kind of why I explained that whole how inline is priority. So we did set top for third title, right? Let's go look at third title. Margin top. You can see this margin top, right? 70px.
Yes.
So like I said, adjusting or setting any style property in JavaScript is just adjusting or rather setting the inline styling. Okay. And because already the people that made this have made it such that inline styling has the highest priority for CSS styling. Once you set this here, it will override any other thing from any style sheet anywhere. So it now looks like JS is magic. It's doing the impossible.
So what about if you put important in the CSS styling? You know that
Yeah. It's pointless because once again, this inline styling overrides every other thing.
that one,
So
even
over here, right? How do they put that
important.
thing? Importance.
Okay.
Okay, we're not changing the color. Okay, let me change the color. Yeah, this is equal to 70, and then style.color. Let's say color should be green. Nothing else is green. Now that's interesting. Seems our dear importance actually made a difference.
Okay, wait. What did you put? Important, it was still red, right?
Yeah, the importance is red.
Okay.
Okay,
That
let me
one
remove this and see if this
to be
truly
green.
made a difference.
And to be green.
Yeah, it's a big green. Okay, so I guess we've seen that important is actually very, very important.
Okay. I think I understand that one.
Okay, so that's another use of importance to help it override any inline styling. Okay, I thought important just overrode, any other external sheet styling or internal styling. I didn't know it had priority even over inline styling. That's good to know. So I guess that's one way that um, this would not work. So I'm curious, what if this guy is still here and then I put this?
It's green to be green because
No, it didn't work.
it didn't work.
The greens. The green.
Log it. I asked this call that thing. Hold it again.
I'm coming.
So maybe you are supposed to put the important outside the green.
Quotes.
Yeah.
But it can't be outside the code now. It only accepts one string. If you put the
Okay.
important outside the string, it's no longer a string. It's no longer part of that string. Let me see. Third title dot style dot color. It seems it didn't recognize it as a valid value.
And that's because it
Empty string.
was inside the same.
Remove the important and see. And the green is here, but the other important takes effect. Okay, so I guess these guys don't accept important.
Okay, in JavaScript.
I think inline it does accept important.
And
So why didn't that work? Yeah, I'm just surprised. This inline
it
styling
work
seems to
in
accept
JavaScript. It
important.
worked in the. No, if you not okay, you put it inside the quotation mark.
Yeah, but their own quotation mark is for the entire style, like from beginning to end. So it
Okay. That was
uses
what I was
this one
telling
to
you.
uses the semicolon to know the different things. Yeah, that's why he said, adding
That I should
importance
remove
is
it.
actually good.
Don't remove it. Let us see what will happen. We are just trying.
Remove what?
Inside the JavaScript one. That you should remove it in the before your semicolon. If there's a semicolon. Put it outside that place. Outside.
Sorry, just one thing. Let me check.
Okay.
This place that we saw, third title, that we went down to see the color, style, color. Color is green. That place can accept important. Why is this one not accepting?
I'm saying that you should remove. Don't put the important inside the quotation first. I don't know. We are just trying.
It won't work now because it doesn't
Okay.
go along with JavaScript rules.
Okay. It's showing error already, sir.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, that's sad. So for now, we've not found a way to defeat importance in CSS style. Okay, but anyway, let's just use this chance to look at get completed styles. So remember how I said Mm, mm, yeah, so whatever styling is currently on the elements, you will not be able to get it by trying to log that element. Is get computed styles. I think I should add the get. So get computed styles is something that is only run on the window. Yeah, get computed style. You don't really pick an element like you say third title dot get computed style. No, you call this on the window and you pass in the elements and even the pseudo element if you want. So let's say third title, for example. It asks, it has a second option, a second parameter, right? Pseudo element. But you can see this is string or not because you can't get a pseudo element like with JavaScript. So therefore you would write something like, I don't know, maybe anyway. So it should return an object. Yeah, it returns CSS style declaration object. So let's see, let's put this in a variable. Const is equal to this. Let's remove this after. Okay, let's leave this. Let's just go look at it first. So, third title style declaration. Oh yeah, I forgot. You 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 can't, you won't see the whole, you won't just open it and see something. I think you have to specify. Okay, if you keep going down, I guess you see then. So these are like, you see values for everything because some of these things need a default value. They need a value to operate. So if we go down to color, yeah, we get this. I guess that's the green. But why is it 128? It's supposed to be 02250. That's strange.
You know we have different shades of green. Maybe that shade is what is
Yeah, we're just green. Okay, I guess that's the CSS default green.
okay. Because green, you might think it's green, oh,
I
but
guess.
the green have different shades. That's if you change that into 255, what will happen? Change to a darker green.
Yeah, but this, okay, I guess this is not the darkest green possible.
And maybe that's what it means.
Anyway, yeah, so a bunch of other things. Flex, 01 auto, flex basis, flex flow, flex, everything has a value, okay? There's a time I needed this for something. I think it was about transformation, like translation, something like that. So I needed to know where the current, like top, left, right values of the element are so that I would know how to move it, where to move it, something like that. So I think T should be close by top. Okay, here is auto. But at that point in time, it was giving a value in CSS. Let's try that. Third title, okay. So let me see. I think it was transform. Translate X. Let's say 40px. Style that translates. Okay, not translate, it's just transform style. Translates. Let's see what that is. None. Ah, yeah, that's true. I run into this issue. Whenever you do any transform from CSS, they don't end up as regular values like the way you wrote it in CSS. They end up as a matrix object. Yeah, in this transform property. So you need to go somewhere and find out how to convert this matrix object to regular values. This matrix object, there are different transforms you can do, right? There's translate, rotate, skew. I feel like there are some others. Some of them have X and Y and all that. So anyway, they end up as 6 values. I think this was the 40. It was 40px we put, right? There's also scale. So all these mean different things. So there's a way they read that matrix. Anyway, some of these things you probably won't need them until a particular situation rolls by. And once that situation rolls by, you can still go ahead and look for how to find what you're looking for, and you'll find it. Anyway, I think we are finally done with this day 21. Do we have any issues?
So why when you wanted to write that translate, it is normal CSS.
Yeah.
You will say style. You will say inside your style. You will not say transform dot translate. You get, but this your own. You just went. You did not put the transform.
Oh.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it also has a translate.
Okay.
See, translate. So you may not
Okay, that's why.
necessarily have to write. Yeah.
But is it the same? Okay, and they are doing the same thing.
I think it's XY, right? So if I say 40px and 0, I feel like we should also get the same thing.
Okay, I think even there's a rotate now without the transform.
We got the same thing. It's still translated 40px.
They're not the same.
Sure that it didn't. What is this margin? Let me remove the margin top. Yeah, so there was no Y translation, just the X. Because I gave it 40px 0. If I change this to just 40px, I think it will go both ways.
Okay.
Okay. That's strange.
So if you want to do linear gradients with
JavaScript.
Yes, and you want to use JavaScript to get the style. Will you say
Uh,
style dot linear gradient in without
no,
putting
normally there's no this thing now.
hmm?
Linear gradient is not a property.
Background color? I mean, is it not background image?
Third
It's a one color.
style dot background image.
Mm.
And then you write what you want to write. So
Okay,
linear
okay. The value that is linear gradient.
gradient. Uh,
But this your background
trying to do
image.
this is going well.
The background image is camel case. It's true.
Uh, let's just give it random. Maybe EG828910. And oh, I guess I think we should see something with this. Yeah. So all good, Abby.
Yes, I understand. So you just put style dot the property of the CSS.
Yeah.
Mm, it will work. Okay.
Yeah. So you can set stylings that way, and to get the original styling that was there, probably to check something or to use it for some calculations, you can now use get computed style. I'm passing the elements to see what property was originally there.
Do you
So
still
that
need
is that.
quotation,
Do I still need?
quotation mark? I did syntax. I don't know if show me the. Did you put quotation mark before you put the elements? You have written it
Okay,
before.
over here.
Mm,
Here, I mean.
so you did
No, no,
not put.
no. It's
Okay, you
not
just.
about the name. It's about the variable.
Okay, okay,
Get it
okay,
as a variable and pass it in.
okay.
All right. So I guess next time we will continue with the next day. And this day is about, elements, creating elements, appending elements, removing elements. So that's what this day is about. And that's tomorrow. So this one looks kind of short. I think we can finish this tomorrow. If we do finish it in time, we'll try out these. One of you will do these, since I know you guys don't do this at home, right? Yes. Confess your crimes. You go B.